Hey guys, this is my review for the film Uglies. I'm gonna go over some of my thoughts and opinions about it, and at the end, I will be giving it a rating out of 4 stars. Let's get into it. The city and the smoke are two main areas of contention in this film. The city is where all the pretty people that have undergone beauty surgery reside. It's full of tall, eloquent buildings that are covered in colorful lights, and it is also very technologically advanced. There are flying vehicles and transformative items that defy reality. Everyone there is shown having a good time and enjoying their city life. The smoke is a hidden area where rebels that haven't gotten beauty surgery live. It's located far away from the city, in a remote part of the wilderness near a great waterfall. People that live there make and grow their own things and food. They live in small villages with homes made out of wood and moss. They are content with their lives, despite the fact that they are constantly doing manual labor. I think the story is trying to suggest that the smoke is the good place where good people are, and the city is the bad place where bad people are. But the problem is that the city looks like a much better place to live than the smoke. The city life is depicted as fun and luxurious. There aren't any scenes of people in the city having problems or being unhappy, and they also aren't doing any manual labor. On the other hand, life at the smoke is rugged and poor. People are putting themselves in danger burning flowers, which are the energy source of the city. They are also prying up railroads and somehow using the steel to make pots and pans.
But now we're recycling the rail ties.
To use it for what?
Everything. Pots and pans, gardening tools.
People living in the smoke have to deal with the pain of working and the fear of invasion from the state. I think that it's better to live in the city. Also, the smoke doesn't seem to be very technologically advanced. I'm not sure if they have indoor plumbing, since they grab buckets of water from the river, and they also wash themselves in the river too. Meanwhile, people living in the city have indoor plumbing and everything else you ever wanted.
I don't trust you.
You don't have to trust me. You just have to follow me.
Our main character, Tally, lives in a school dorm and is only a few months away from her 16th birthday and undergoing her beauty surgery. She is curious and rebellious. She uses her wit to manipulate tools that allow her to break the rules, boundaries, and curfew. This is one of the problems I find with her character, because in the beginning, she says that she wants to be pretty and that all of her problems will be solved once she is.
All my life I wanted to be pretty. I thought it would change everything.
But confusingly, she does things that would prohibit her from becoming pretty, like breaking the rules and getting into trouble. This contradiction in the character's actions make her appear arrogant and kind of clueless. I think it would make more sense if she was a good student doing whatever she could to make sure that she would be able to get the surgery. Furthermore, in the months leading up to her surgery, she makes a friend named Shay that encourages her delinquent behavior. Specifically, they steal food from the kitchen and skip class to go spaceboarding. Shay doesn't intend to get the surgery, so that's why she acts this way, and eventually she runs away. Even though Tally wants the surgery, she still went along with Shay and never thought about the consequences of her actions. Shay actually becomes the reason why Tally is unable to get the surgery because she left to join the smoke, and Dr. Cable knows that Tally is involved. Dr. Cable even gives Tally the option to get the surgery if she would just tell her where Shay went.
Help us. The sooner you do, the sooner we can get to your procedure. We have facilities right here. Do you remember anything she said that would help us find her?
I wish I could help.
This seems like a pretty good deal to me, but for some reason, Tally refuses to help even though her whole life she has wanted to become pretty and has only known Shay for 2 months. It doesn't make any sense. Tally doesn't think Dr. Cable is a bad person, so she should cooperate. The main character says she wants something and then does the opposite. This makes her extremely uninspiring because she has no purpose or identity. Here's a clip to sum her up.
What do you want?
I've just done so many bad things.
David is the leader of a revolutionist group known as the Smoke. His vision is to lead a life that promotes freedom of thought and preserving what is natural. The problem with this character is that the film doesn't show him having many leadership qualities. Most of the time, he is showing Tally around the Smoke and teaching her specific things. In my opinion, a leader of a revolutionist group should have many important duties to tend to and wouldn't have much time to spend teaching new recruits. If he was a capable leader, he would delegate that responsibility to someone he trusts that is already established there. He should also be prioritizing the safety of the villagers and acting to protect them from the danger that he is exposing them to. They are actively destroying the energy supply of the city and consequently are in the crosshairs of their retaliation, but he doesn't do anything like that. Also, if he was a leader, I would think there would be some kind of reason or trait that shows he is more capable than others and deserves the responsibilities of being a leader. Something like a talented scientist, or maybe he is trying to create life-improving technologies from natural renewable resources to improve the living conditions of the rebels. But he just seems like everyone else and doesn't show any outstanding qualities. In an important scene that displays his leadership abilities, he doesn't show compassion or empathy to the one guy that thinks Tally might be an agent of the state. Even though this guy has been working for the Smoke much longer than Tally, and should have a stronger relationship with David, David doesn't see things from his perspective or show compassion like a leader should.
Am I the only one that's worried about all of this? Huh?
You're right that we don't know about Tally. Nobody dives out of a helicopter into fiery hell unless they believe in something bigger than themselves.
Instead, he dismisses the possibility, almost humiliating him in front of the others, when he should have just said something like, "We will discuss that later," and then there could be a scene of the two of them really talking about it, and David weighing the possibilities. That would show him to be a much more compelling leader. In the opening scene, Tally is giving a monologue about why she wants to be pretty, how the world's energy has shifted from fossil fuels to a special orchid, and the origins of beauty surgery. In my opinion, this is too much information to process and retain in the opening scene. I think it should just be focused on why Tally wants to be pretty and the origins of beauty surgery. We can find out later about the environment through dialogue or acting. As I stated earlier, I would have Tally act in a way where she tries to follow the rules and thinks about how her actions might affect her chances of getting the surgery. Also, instead of befriending Shay months before her surgery, I would have them be best friends for a couple of years before that. Nose would be her boyfriend instead of her best friend, and they would be in a happy relationship. More drama would take place because Nose has to have his beauty surgery first, and they hope their relationship will remain the same after the surgery. But after he gets the surgery, he stops responding to her texts. She decides to go looking for him to get some answers and sneaks into the city with a disguise. This happens in the film, but it's very brief and only once. In my opinion, this is the most interesting part of the whole movie, and they should have explored it more. What I would have done is when Tally sneaks into the city, she doesn't find Nose right away, but instead she gets lost and ends up learning about the city and its people. I think she should try to find Nose multiple times, but instead she finds out that the city and its people aren't perfect like she thought, and they have their own kind of problems. When she eventually does find Nose, he tells her that he doesn't care for her anymore, and she is heartbroken. I think this would be really dramatic and super memorable. I would have more empathy for her, and it would make her more interesting. Because of this, she decides to run off with Shay to the Smoke. It's a difficult decision for her to make, but ultimately she does because she is heartbroken and knows the truth about the city and its people. At this point, I would have David be much more of a leading role and have more scenes of him doing leadership things. Tally should be learning and trying to help as much as possible to earn everyone's trust and respect. The longer Tally spends there, she starts to learn more about David's objective and plans of revolution. She then becomes much more involved in the revolution, and David becomes her new love interest. Then it could pretty much end the same. I think these changes would make the movie much more easy to follow, and the characters would have much more personality. I don't think the plot is bad. I think the presentation is inadequate and shallow. They should have focused more on character development and exploring the lives of pretty people in the city. Uglies is an ugly movie that is in need of reconstructive surgery. It has some good things about it, but it fails to tie everything together in a dramatic fashion. The acting is acceptable, but the way the characters are written into the story is shallow and unbalanced. There isn't anything spectacular or outstanding from a cinematic perspective about this film. I think it could have been a good film if it was written better and had more creative camera shots. With all that being said, my rating for Uglies is 1 star out of 4. I would not recommend this movie to anyone, and I don't think that it will have any lasting effect on the movie industry. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.